Alright, so I have to admit something. I know that I mentioned this, I did the first 3 films back in October. But since then, because those are like one of the earliest ones I did for Halloween Horror Month, and I actually filmed them in the middle of September. So since then, though, I totally spaced, and I totally forgot that this movie even came out this year, because after that, in the first 3, I said, whenever this comes out, I'll do it, and then I just totally spaced it, and I forgot. And then I was at the store, I was at Walmart today when I bought it, and I saw it there, I'm like, Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Shit. Yeah, that did come out this year, didn't it? Because it came out, and I watched a few reviews, non-spoiler stuff, all negative. All negative on this movie. And I said, there's even some videos saying it's worse than the third one. And after watching it, I can tell you that is just not true. The reason is why it's not worse than the third one is because the third one was built up so much by Victor Salva, by the production crew, that this was going to be it. This was going to be the final part of a trilogy with Trish coming back, Farmer Jack coming back, Jack Jr. possibly, and they're going to take down the Creeper once and for all. And what we got was a in-between-quel that sets up the film that we're now never going to get. I even said in the review of the third one that for this one, they should have just, instead of rebooting it completely, just do what Victor Salva was going to do. Just continue with that. Bring back Jonathan Breck, bring back Trish, bring back Old Man Jack, and just do it. And again, after watching it, yeah, they should have done that. Because this movie is, I don't know what they were trying to do with this movie. Alright? The story is that this couple are going to this horror festival in the middle of the fucking spring, which makes no sense to me. And you're like, well, surely this takes place on Halloween, but no. If you know the lore of the Creeper, it's every 23rd spring for 23 days. So it's in the middle of the spring. Yeah, doesn't make much sense, does it? And they go to this horror festival in the spring, where they are lucky enough to be chosen to go to this haunted house, this Creeper-style escape room. Which, as soon as you see where they're going when they get there, you're like, no, that's a house. And then they get in the house, and it's like, no, this is not an escape, this is a house. They've been tricked, obviously. And, yeah. And, so that's our premise. You made me think, wait a minute, people being brought out to the middle of nowhere to be attacked by a creature, killed off one by one. That sounds oddly familiar. That's because they already did it in Leprechaun Origins. But unlike that film, I feel like it worked better here, because when you went into Leprechaun Origins, you were expecting, a little hurly-burly leprechaun guy. The Creeper is a silent killer. He works better for this kind of story. They did change up the lore, and it wasn't for the better. So let's sit down and talk about this, because So our couple here is a mixed race couple. Chase and his girlfriend Lane, Laine, Lane. And they are going to this festival, this horror festival in the spring, which, again, you can have horror festivals whenever, but mostly they take place during Halloween time, right? And it looks like it could be cold wherever they are, which is very weird. And again, if it's the start of spring, you're looking at the 40s, 50s. So at night, it would be kind of cold. I'll get that. I'll give it to you. And especially if it's at night. Early spring, if this was, say, March, April, it's a little nippy then. At night, sort of thing. So, yeah. And if I missed something, and they changed it to where it's just every 23 years, I didn't guess that. So they go to this festival. Oh, I forgot about, we got a cold open that is verbatim, pretty much like the original, but with an elderly couple played by Dee Wallace and Gary Graham. Dee Wallace, of course, a scream queen in her own right. Gary Graham, only thing I can find for him is that he was in Alien Nation, which is a show I never watched, which is weird because I like alien sci-fi shit, and I never watched that show. Maybe I can retroactively watch it. I've done it with so many like Angel, Buffy, half of Smallville. So, you know, I could do that. But anyway, this is opening. They're in the car. They're talking. They bring up the license plate, which is the car's behind them, and don't get in front of him, but he's able to read the license. Okay. I don't know. And yes, they're killed off right away by the creeper, and it's told as if it's this story on this radio podcast thing that the character of Chase is listening to, and now they're on their way to this festival. So they get their hotel room, and he wants her to cosplay, but he's not going to cosplay, he wants her to cosplay. So she's going through these cosplays, 3 of which are horror adjacent. You got Harley Quinn, and then there's Freddy Krueger, which is actually Freddy Krueger, that's something I haven't seen. Well, I guess there's not there, but no. Edward Scissorhands, I think. Only one of them was Scissorhands, but I think that's who it was supposed to be, but someone else let me know. And then Jennifer's Body. Jennifer Check from Jennifer's Body, which is what she ends up going as, which out of all of those, I feel like that's the least in the know. They're not going to know who that is. I figured it out because I love that movie, but Harley Quinn would have been better. I don't know. And it's weird because, like, you got these cosplay costumes and they put it in the movie, and then later you see other costumes, like someone's dressed as Michael Myers, and you're wondering how the hell were they able to get permission to do that? Most likely they didn't. And it's just in the movie, and we're lucky, they're lucky, not us. They're lucky that it didn't happen. They already had enough problems because Screen Media was releasing this, but the other person that helped release 2 and 3 went off on them because, you know, they did without permission, I guess, but I don't know. Yeah, so they go to this thing, and right away, so we're in the hotel room. 2 things happen, which one thing made me say something. So the guy, he's going through, and he opens up this ring box, and there's a ring in there. He's going to propose to his girlfriend. I'm like, oh, he's dead. Spoiler alert, he doesn't die, which is really weird because usually when you see that character's going to die. But they don't, which was clever, I guess. And then she takes a pregnancy test, and she's pregnant. Despite the fact that the test doesn't finish till after she's dropped it on the floor and they leave. And they never go back to the hotel room in the movie. And then later she's like, I'm pregnant. And I'm like, wait. And maybe since they're going after her stomach, he's going after her stomach, it's going after, they call it in this, but in fact it was he in the first 3 movies, but you know, going after her stomach, her womb, for the baby, which would be like the size of a freaking pea by now. Can't be that old. How long? I'm not a woman, so I wouldn't know. But I think you at least have to be a couple weeks pregnant before you notice. Or is it 1 month? I don't know. I'm not a woman. I've never been pregnant, despite my large belly. But, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so they go to this festival, and she's starting to have visions, too, of this one weird-looking, like, fortune teller woman, and then she shows up, and you're like, oh. So she's a bad guy. And yeah, so they win this contest. So they meet this guy who I called Jethro throughout the entire movie because I didn't catch his name. And because I didn't hear it until the end. Apparently his name is Stu. I don't know. I called him Jethro. He's a redneck guy. He's got this beard go like this. He's wearing a red flannel shirt. I called him Jethro. Sorry. That's what I called him. I didn't know his name, so I just called him Jethro. Oh, Jethro's gonna die. Oh, but watch out, Jethro. That's what I kept saying. So, so right away, I think you're supposed to be iffy on this guy, because right away he shows up. He's got one of the blades, one of the little 4-bladed things, and his little thing, you throw a weapon at a wall or something. And The guy that's supposed to drive them to the place is killed off screen All the kills in this are pretty much off screen, except for the creepers. And then once you see that fucking CGI bullshit, we'll get to the technical problems in this movie in just a little bit. But the guy who's supposed to drive them was killed off screen. So then Jethro, I'm gonna keep calling him Jethro. Jethro is driving them, so you think he's got to be in on it, but he's not. You find out he's not. He has no idea what's going on, and they even have the characters like poking and prodding him. So it's Jethro driving them, Chase, a reluctant Lane, this blonde-haired Asian chick, and this camera guy. Names I don't remember, and I don't care. They're all going to this room, which is an escape room, and only 2 people get to go. They said that there will be 2 winners, but Lane was holding. They said this. They said our 2 lucky winners are gonna get to go, right? But like that implied that you would pick 2 numbers. They picked 1 number, and that number just so happened to give them 2 people. I feel like that's a cop-out. I don't know. But they get to this place, and again, I think you're supposed to think that Jethro's in on it, because they get to a certain point, it's okay, we gotta get out and walk, because you can't drive at certain points. So they walk to this house, and I think you're supposed to think he's in on it, because that leaves the car, they can't escape, that sort of thing. But he's not? Is that supposed to be a clever twist? I don't know. And he comes off as untrustable from the beginning, so I don't know. It's confusing. So they get there right away, almost right away. Lane is taken hostage, and he takes this special-looking knife, stabs her. The others go in the house, and this cult. Yeah, there's a cult of 3 people, which are the 3 people that set this up. By the way, there is this woman who is supposed to sound creepy while delivering this message to the people about how it's creepy and I am the mistress of the or whatever. But she talks in a southern accent and says y'all at the end of every sentence. What the fuck is that? I am the mistress of darkness, y'all. We're here to be complete evil, y'all. I'm just like, is this supposed to be scary? It's not. It's stupid. Why I get it. They're in bumfuck Louisiana, but come on. Y'all? That's Texas, not Louisiana, as far as I know. I don't know. I just didn't. So we get to this, and okay, so a couple things. The creeper looks like shit. When it's in dark areas, it looks fine, but there are way too many times that it's like when we first see it, there's a shot that in concept would be cool to see. They show us the literal rebirth of the creeper. He crawls out from a hole, he comes out, and he wings stretch out, and it's the beginning of his 23-day cycle. Only problem is, costume looks like shit. And if this was Jonathan Breck, if this was the same creeper as the first 3 movies, I think it would be cool. But with this costume, say nothing about the actor. The actor does a pretty good job. But the costume looks like shit. And they light it way too much in direct light. Even at night, there's like dark scenes where he's on top of the roof and stuff. Or there's scenes where he's outside at night. They have it lit like it's moonlight directly down on him, which is not how moonlight works. Like a spotlight, which shows his entire fucking face. It's like, no, you do not need to show us completely. Especially since the camera guy makes a comment when you get there. Oh, I guess I have to use cell phones to light it. And then you can completely see the creeper with the light shining down. Yeah, that makes no sense. And my God, the green screen in this is complete and total shit. It's like The Room. Bad green screen. There's a scene where Jethro and Chase are on top of the roof trying to get this weather vane to fall down on the creeper, and it's completely green screened. It looks terrible. And much like The Room, there's no wind. Jethro's got this beard, he can go like that commercial I saw the other day where It's supposed to be this guy, and it's supposed to be a serious commercial, but his beard is flapping the entire commercial, so I can't help but laugh. And it's supposed to be a serious commercial, but they could have done something, I don't know. But there's no wind at all. No. So the cult is there, and the creeper is after the unborn baby, which I said would be the size of a freaking peanut at this point. Why would you go after a child that's just been conceived? Like, it's got to be at least only a month old in there. Peanut sized. It hasn't grown at all. Why would you do it now? You see movies where they're going after pregnant women, and they're like 8 to 9 months pregnant. She just got pregnant. It makes no sense. And she's getting these visions, which are unexplained, which I think they're trying to tie it into the lore. They took lore from the first 3 films. Like, oh, that one lady got visions in the third one. Let's do that. But pay no mind to the fact that she got it because she touched the creeper's dismembered hand, decapitated hand, whatever you want to call it, disembodied hand, and that's how she got the visions. Hey, they actually show us the visions. Not that it means anything. It's weird visions with the cult, and the cult just fucks off after they lock them in there. But yeah, so they enact their plan. The camera guy and the blonde Asian chick die. Who cares? They enact their plan is to, they play the song, which I thought was a bit of an eye roll when I started playing it, but I understand why they did it. I feel like that was like the most underutilized thing, because in the first one, the fortune teller lady says, oh, he plays that when he kills his victims, and then we just don't hear it for 2 or 3 at all. You know? And he plays it here, although the song is kind of weird. It's like, Jeepers, baby, I need the peepers. And it's like, I never heard a version like that. I don't know, but it was cool to hear the song at least. So they enact their plan. Camera guy and Jethro, they go upstairs to distract the creeper. They smash the record player on him. Cameraman dies. Jethro runs downstairs and hides behind a banister thing on the stairs. You know, there'd be stairs, and there's like a area you can stand behind, whatever. Like Harry Potter's hiding underneath there, that kind of thing. But no, he's not underneath him, just on the side. And he hides next to him, but he hides right next to him where his head's popping out behind the freaking on the stairs. Like if you're walking down the stairs, you could see him. The creeper doesn't, because he's focused on Lane, who's standing there with the blade, luring him outside. And the other 2, they go upstairs. At one point, they do call the cops, but like a fucking idiot, Chase mentions the creeper, which like, are you doing drugs? Why can't you just say, hey, we're at that abandoned whatever house. Someone, not something like he says, but someone is trying to kill us. Please, come help us. Send backup. Send cops. That sort of thing. Cops do show up, but she lures the creeper outside, and they go up to the roof. I'm like, why are they going up to the roof? They just wait till he gets outside, run behind him, and leave. No, because there's a plan to this. So they go up the top, and they go to get the weather vane. She's out there, and she has, like, he's going in to grab the baby, whatever, out of her stomach, I don't know. And then you get the vision, oh, the blood will revitalize you, whatever the fuck. And then she takes the 2 blades, and she throws them right in his eyes, and he pulls them out, both eyes pop out, and she says the most cringiest fucking line. And even I was anticipating this, because she threw it in like, don't say it. Just don't. And she looks at the camera and she goes, how about those peepers, bitch? I went, oh, you gotta be... No! Don't, just don't. Can you just don't? Can you just not? Please just not do that. No. Don't. No. Just don't, please. No. Not needed. No. So he's swinging around. I got no eyeballs. He's swinging at nothing. And they throw the weather vane down. It goes right through his mouth. Somehow, he's able to know they're right up there, so he turns around. I guess his hearing's better, but he can't see fucking shit. But he turns around and he goes... Then Another eye-rolling thing. It's shown earlier in the film that he can somehow control crows. When he's born, there are crows flying around, crows throughout the movie, which is a staple of the franchise, but they went overboard with this because he's stabbed through the mouth, close to death, and the crows just swarm. And they swarm Jethro and Chase on the roof, causing Jethro to fall down, which is where they say, "No, Stu!" Oh yeah, that character you met like an hour ago. Poor guy. And that's when I'm like, oh, his name is Stu. I've been calling him Jethro the entire movie because I don't know him. And I still call him Jethro. Better name for him. He's dead. And Chase is still up on the roof, able to get down, and then the crows are going after her. By the way, before the climax, there is a line. They're like, "Why are they after you?" And she's like, "I'm pregnant. And yes, I will marry you." Did I miss something? How did she know he was going to propose to her? I feel like that's a very forced line dialogue, so he doesn't have to propose at the end. Fucking stupid. Anyway, crows ascend on the creeper's carcass, wrap him up, and then he's just cover around him, and he's just gone. And the cops show up, and the cops are pointing guns at them. I'm like, oh no, don't do this. I thought it was going to be revealed that the cops were in on it, much like the townspeople in Leprechaun Origins. But no, they're not, and they get to back the cop car, and they drive away. And we cut to like a basement area, which they do allude. There's something I thought of. So they do allude to how he's keeping bodies, much like in the original. And there's a bunch of flies down there swarming. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Why weren't there any flies in the first one? I know he like did something to their bodies. Maybe what he did stop the flies, stop the decaying, that sort of thing. I don't know, but it made me think. And then it cuts to like a basement area or whatever, and the creeper just comes back to life. Because this was part of a planned trilogy, don't you know? Yeah, no, thank you. No, thank you. Can you like, instead, just give us, if you're going to do another movie, just give us the sequel we want from Salva's trilogy. Just give us that. I don't care. It doesn't have to have Victor Salva involved. Just, say, hey, let's just finish off what Salva started. Because whatever we did is not working. And finish that. Just do that. Please. That's all I've wanted since I saw the second film. And we're never going to get that now. But you should have just done that instead of this. Well, why? Why is this not as bad as 3? Well, let me tell you why. Because I didn't have any hope for this at all. It was announced. There wasn't much of it. COVID interrupted it. Whatever. There wasn't much to it. Came out, was like, I had no faith in this movie to begin with. So it could not disappoint me. However, the build-up for 3, there was so much build-up for 3 over the years. That the second one came out, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to bring her back, we're going to bring him back, we're going to do this. We're going to finish up this trilogy, only for it to be a prequel to set up more shit for the movie we're now never going to get. So it was a fucking disappointment to me. This one was not a disappointment because I had no hope for it at all. So simply, it's not worth your time. That's what I'm going to get. It's not worth your time. I didn't have any hope for it to begin with. The acting was decent, I guess, but it was meh to me. I just didn't care. But, yeah, I can't even say it was directed well because freaking green screen bullshits. But yeah, it's not worth your time. So what are your thoughts on Jeepers Creepers Reborn? Leave me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.